The lighting in here is crap, but I didn't feel like getting up and moving. And yes, I have something on my shirt. What's going on? Hey, whatever. It's been a day. So, I'm just sitting here feeding Connor dinner, but I just wanted to get on here real quick and give you an update. Dad is doing fabulous. He saw the surgeon this week. Surgeon told him the surgeon is really blunt. And he was super hard on Dad. I mean, he told him like it was. And he told him, I can put out the fire, but if you keep throwing gasoline on it, it's just going to start again. And what he meant by that was if you keep eating the way you've been eating for years. And so he also told him that, he told us after surgery, hi. Yeah. That's normally where I sit in video, ain't it? I didn't want to get up and move. That's lazy, ain't it? Yeah, it is. So, he told him also, he told us after surgery that if he didn't change his ways, he would not live much longer. And so, Dad has took it very seriously. I mean, it's his life. This has been a very scary thing for all of us, but it has been really scary for him, as it should be. So the surgeon really talked right to him, and he said some hard stuff to him. But we appreciate that because Dad has made a change, and he would not have made a change otherwise if all this hadn't happened. So I hate to say I can see, reasons maybe why God let this happen, but I can. It's still heartbreaking. It's still hard to talk about. It's still fresh. But anyway, Dad is totally changed. I hope he sticks to it. I know it's still early. But he cut out Coke. He's cut out all salt, and he's just eating really clean and healthy. And he's been doing fabulous. He's lost 40 pounds. He looks completely different. And so if you haven't seen him in a while, if you know us personally, if you haven't seen him in a while and you see him out, he's going to, I'm just going to be honest, he's probably going to look sickly to you. It's probably going to be like, oh my gosh, and part of that is because you know how bad it was. I think your mind goes there, but he even looks super different to me, and I'm not going more than a few days without seeing him, and he looks super different to me. So if you haven't seen him in a while and then you see him, it's a drastic change. It's amazing what 40 pounds, how different you look. And so anyway, he's doing great. He's really made a change and made a turnaround, and I hope and pray that he sticks to it. And anyway, so Connor's doing great. He's crawling through like a dog, if you can hear him. He is eating a turkey sandwich, dinner of champions, and he's doing really, really good. He finishes his antibiotic tomorrow. He actually didn't have an upset stomach this time. If you know us personally, I've talked about it before. You know that antibiotics destroy his stomach. And this time, they haven't, which freaked me out at first. I even brought it up to the doctor just because you know how your kid is. He's always been like this anytime he's been put on antibiotics, and he's not. And so I'm like, what's going on? But this time, instead of giving him a big dose of antibiotics, they have broke it up. Like, we give 2 milliliters in the morning and 2 milliliters in the evening. And normally he would take 4 milliliters a day, And so they changed it up this time, and it hasn't upset his stomach. And I'm kind of like kicking myself over, could we have done this all along? Like, is that really the only reason it's not messing up his stomach? Like, we were giving it too heavy at one time. I have no idea, y'all, but that's the only difference there is this time. So anyway, he's doing really good. He went back to school this week. He was a pretty naughty boy his first day back at school. I was afraid he wouldn't want to go to school. He danced right onto that bus. I mean, I'm not even going to attempt to do it because I'm going to make myself look crazy. But he danced onto the bus, and the bus driver was laughing, and anyway, he was laughing. But then when he got to school, of course, he hasn't been at school. He hasn't been having to do work, and he didn't want to do work. He did a lot of telling no. He did a lot of refusing stuff, and he spent a lot of time in timeout, as he should. I'm not one of them parents that's like, what'd you do to my baby? You know what I mean? I mean, I can be, but when he's being naughty, he's being naughty. And so Thursday, that was Wednesday. Thursday and Friday were much better, and he did better. So I hope we're getting in our groove, getting in our routine, and just getting back at it, getting back used to it. I loved going back to work. I love what I do. I love our kiddos. I missed everybody, and I just need a little escape. And that's my little break. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm still with kids and but it's different when it's not your kid, I feel like. And it's just I work 5 hours a day. It's the perfect amount of time for a little clearing your head and focusing on something different, and so I know when Connor's sick, I focus all my time and energy, and my mind races, and everything's about him, and everything's getting him well, and doing this medicine, and doing this breathing treatment, and when's the next time I need to do this, and timing out stuff, and working out stuff, and doctor here, so this has to be given here, and all this. And so it's nice to clear your mind and get back on track. And the last few weeks also have been so crazy because I was out of work a lot, and I was at the hospital a lot with Dad, and when I'm at the hospital, I had to find somebody to keep him, and I had to, it's just been, my mind's been a little frazzled. So to go back to work and to start having some normalcy again, and I don't feel like I was in a panic. I think I inwardly was. I would say more of on the verge of being in a panic the whole time. But I think that you stay in that state of mind so much that you don't realize you're not sleeping, and you don't realize that you're overwhelmed, and you don't realize, because you're like, well, I have to do this. I have to be here for this person. I have to be here. I have to go do this. Who's going to keep Connor while I do this? Who's going to, and you don't realize until it's over, and everybody's okay, and everybody's fine, and life is good, and we're okay, and we made it through, and I can go back to work, and I can be home every night with Connor, and life levels back out. You don't realize how, just frazzled you were. I don't even know the words to use, really. You don't realize how your life had been so tossed up in turmoil. And anyway, it's been crazy. But Mom and I handled it with such grace and such sanity, and that is only because people were praying, I swear, because Mom and I are the biggest panickers you've ever met. We had our moments when we were alone. We waited till we got alone, and we didn't want to scare Dad. We didn't want to get each other more worked up. And so we did fabulous. I'm super proud of how we did. And I know it's because the peace that surpasses all understanding, and people were praying for us. So I just wanted to tell you again, I know I have before, but tell you again that I really, really appreciate that. And then, the day Dad got to come home, Connor getting pneumonia, and it's just been crazy. It's been a whirlwind, and I'm just thankful to be back on track, be back at work, and be back doing normal life things. I did call this week about Connor's glasses. They said they should be coming in from Miraflex any day now, and then once they come in, they'll send them off for lenses. Lenses should take, I think it's 5 to 10 business days. Who are we kidding? It's going to at least take the 10. There ain't no way it's going to take the 5 because everything about this has been long. So I am going to have to call and cancel his appointment because it's March 18th and he has to wear the glasses for 6 weeks. But I was just kind of trying to wait and see if I could figure out when I get the glasses, because I hate to call them and reschedule it for 6 weeks exactly, or 7 weeks, and then still not even have them yet. So I think I'm just going to call and try to do it toward the end of April. I think that would be a good time, because goodness gracious. But still, who knows, if it takes a few more weeks, that could still not even add up right. But anyway, I've decided, whatever. I've been trying to forget about them, not think about it. And so we are, of course, we had to reschedule the EEG also. because he couldn't be on any meds that he's not typically on for it, which is what we wanted. I don't want any false readings. I want some answers. And the answer I'm expecting is that everything's fine, that he's not having seizures that we're not catching or realizing he's having. I don't even know if I've talked about that on here. Connor, had the seizure in November, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get referred to a neurologist. I changed pediatricians. Anyway, I don't even want to go all deep into it, but it's been a battle. But I do not mind battling for Connor. That's my job. I'm his mother. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. So I battled and I went head to head with a lot of people. Anyway, got referred to a neurologist by our new pediatrician with no problem. Very first visit. Saw the neurologist, explained to them my concerns, what's going on, and she agreed that we should do an EEG. I have to slow down when I say it because Dad's been having EKGs, so I feel like I've mixed them up a couple times. Nothing's going on with Connor's heart. And so what Connor had would have been like a focal seizure, which a lot of times can be staring off. It can be eye jerking, which is what he did. It can be a lot of subtle things like that. I feel like a lot of times when you think seizure, you think grand mal, which is where, you fall and you twitch and you convulse and you lose consciousness and so there are many different types of seizures, which I didn't know that forever, and I don't know, I'm not trying to educate on that because I still don't know the half of it. But anyway, what we want to do with this EEG is we want to ensure that he's not having seizures all the time that we're not noticing, because a focal seizure could be super easy to miss. And so that's what we're wanting to do. We are not doing an overnight one at this time. Since he's only had the one episode that I know of for sure, she didn't think we should do an overnight one at this time. The EEG will not show anything about the seizure in November. That's gone. That's in the past. That's why we're searching for answers today, but there will never be answers about that one. That's done. But what we can do is, while the EEG is running, if anything happens right then, we'll know answers on that. And it determines the here and now. What happens right then while the test is going on. It's not going to show back. It's not going to tell you much about the future unless he's having a bunch, Anyway, so the neurologist, I loved her. She was super great, and she agreed that I'll be honest, she didn't think anything was going on. But she did agree. She tried to do an eval on him, and he wasn't having it. He jumped around and did a few things with her, but she agreed that we should at least do this short one. And so that's what we're going to do. It's been rescheduled for March. I went ahead and bumped it back toward the end of March because that's when we're on spring break. And I was going to have to bump it to March anyway because I wanted to be sure he was good and well, and we weren't having to do breathing treatments, and we weren't having to do anything. And I didn't know how fast this pneumonia would clear up. It cleared up super fast. He's golden. I mean, he's great, and he is so happy and so joyful, and I don't know if he really is more happy and more joyful because he's been sick, or if he seems happier and more joyful than ever to me because he's been sick, and I've been watching him just kind of wallow around for a while, so I don't know which it is, but he's feeling really good. And so anyway, I was going to bump it back to March anyway, just to ensure that he was good and well. And so if I'm going to bump it back to March anyway, why not wait till toward the end of March and do it on spring break? Because what I have to do is I have to keep him up all the way till midnight. All the way till midnight. Connor's all about his sleep. He goes to bed at 7:30 every night. If I don't have him in bed, but at 7:20, if we're not brushing our teeth and getting ready, he will get my hand and take me to his bedroom. He wants to go to bed at night. And so it's going to be hard, guys. It's going to be so hard to keep him awake till midnight. He gets so whiny, and he'll just cry and cry and cry, and you think, God, something's wrong with him. And then you're like, oh, it's 7:30. He's sleepy. And you just take him, and he just go off to bed. And it's just the craziest thing, just because I mean, obviously, I don't have any other kids. I don't really have that much experience or say in it. But, like, just stories I hear from other parents about bedtime and not wanting to go to bed and not wanting to sleep. I'm just like, what's up with my child? Like, he's perfect. So, anyway. So, yeah. It's going to be hard. And so then I can let him sleep from midnight until 4 a.m. and then I have to get him up, and then we don't have to be in Knoxville until like 9:30. And so I'll have to ride in the back with him and just pester him all the way to Knoxville to keep him awake, and he's going to be so mad. And then they hook all this stuff to him, and I'm worried too about him going back to sleep, because like, what if he won't? I know he's going to be sleepy, I know he's going to be exhausted, but like, what if he's going to be mad when Connor don't even like Band-Aids? He's going to be mad when they start putting stuff on him. She didn't want to do a sedated one because she didn't want to put him under, but a lot of me wishes we'd have done a sedated one. I don't want him to be put under either, but I just feel like this is going to end up being a disaster. But we'll see. We'll see. It may be perfect. He may just drift off right to sleep. I don't think so, but hey, he could surprise me. Let's pray that he surprises me. That would just be perfect. But anyway, since all that's going to be going on, it's going to be stressful. The next day will be hard. It'll be because he's going to want to sleep half that day afterwards, and then he ain't going to want to sleep that night, blah, blah. Anyway, I just decided if we're waiting until March anyway and spring break's toward the end of March, let's just do it over spring break. It'll be better for everybody because I'm going to be less stressed too. So that's what we decided to do. So that's what's going on with the EEG. It ended up probably working out better anyway. So not much else going on. We are going tonight to look at car seats because Connor is 42 inches tall now. His car seat goes up to 45 inches. Of course, he's nowhere near the weight limit. I think it's like 50 pounds. He's 34 pounds. It goes out of date next year, but before next year, we're probably going to, even if we don't pass up the 45 inches before next year, he'll probably be 45 inches, hopefully, because he's been growing really good. Take that, failure to thrive. But anyway, so we just felt like it was time. I think it's time. And so we are going to look at car seats since we didn't wait until, oh man, our car seat only goes to 45 inches and he's 44 or 45 inches. Since we didn't wait, I just feel like we can shop around and we can look more easily than if we need it right now. Hey. You want to talk to him? Say hey. Show him your elephant on your shirt. Yeah, that sweater. One of the ladies at the orphanage made it for him. And it's just so sweet when he wears it. It makes me happy and sad when he wears it. Anyway, so that is awful. What is that? Oh, let me move over because that was not good. So anyway, that's what's going on. Connor has, I've never really shared this. I think I'm going to. Connor has, I don't want to say he has trauma, but he has some trauma. Connor has these times when it's like he remembers something or something reminds him of something or he thinks of something. I don't know. I'm not in his head, obviously, but everything will be going great, and then all of a sudden he loses his mind. And I don't mean he cries a little, and I don't mean he throws a tantrum, or I mean he panics. He is terrified, and he hasn't done that in a while. We've been good for a while, but yesterday or last night, I was giving him a shower. Everything was great. Everything was fine. He was laughing. He was giggling. And I was almost done. I always soap up his hair, rinse it out, then soap up his hair again, because, you know, you're supposed to wash twice your hair, because the first time apparently don't get through. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I'm probably just wasting a lot of shampoo, but so the second time I like lather up his hair, and then I wash his body, and then I like, because we have the shower head that comes down, then I'll spray off his body, and then I'll rinse his hair, and then he's all done. Well, I was going to rinse his hair, and all of a sudden he went crazy. Like, it was screaming, and he'll claw trying to get to you. And I was like, Connor, you can't get out of the shower. Like, there's soap all in your hair. I mean, I couldn't just leave soap in his hair. And it's the saddest thing I've ever seen. It's kind of scary, too, in a sense. And he's just clawing, trying to get to me. And what I ended up doing, I ended up putting my leg in the shower with him, like, up against him, holding him into the shower with my leg. And he wraps his arms around my leg and just lays there like this, sobbing. And I rinse out his hair. And he was petrified. Last night I didn't have any battle wounds, but I have had that happen before where I have claw marks down me. And he's not trying to hurt me. He's not throwing a tantrum. It's like he don't even know what's happening anymore. He loses it. He goes crazy. Like, he is absolutely terrified. Like, imagine being so scared and you're clawing your way, like fighting for your life or something. That's how it is. It's scary. And I don't know if he thinks of something or something like he's triggered, obviously, somehow. Anyway, I don't know what to do besides love him through it. I mean, normally I pick him up, but I had to hold him in the shower till I got his hair, the soap washed out. And then I just grabbed him in a towel and we just sit in the bathroom floor for a while, and I just held him and he just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And I keep telling him, we're okay. Mama's right here. We're okay. I'll just say that over and over to him. I don't know. And finally you can feel his breathing start to settle down, and he'll start to settle down and calm down. I don't know, guys. I have no idea. But anyway, that's going on. So, I don't know. It's never been like the same. It doesn't seem like it's a shower thing. It doesn't seem like the same thing triggers him. But something definitely triggers him. So I'm going to try to, like, keep a journal and write down so I can figure out if it's like a shower thing or something I say, or like when the water hits him in a certain way, or I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's crazy. There's always something with us. Isn't that the truth? Life is never simple. That's what I say to my mom all the time. Life is never simple. You know, I had this whole ordeal trying to find frames for glasses. And I'm like, why can't anything be simple for us? And then I finally got it done. I'm like, hallelujah, got it done. And then it's been like 6 weeks and there's still no glasses. It was supposed to take 2 weeks. And I told my mom, well, nothing's ever simple for us. And then like all this stuff with Dad. He couldn't have surgery when he was supposed to have surgery, first of all, because all the fluid they had to get off. And then they got the fluid off. They scheduled surgery. And then he had some other stuff going on with him. And they couldn't do surgery till that cleared up or whatever. And anyway, and I told Mom, and nothing's ever simple for us. And she actually texted me yesterday and was like, nothing's ever simple. I can't remember what it was. Something was going on. But I'm like, that's like my motto for life. And it's like, sometimes it frazzles you, and then other times you get to a point where you're like, nah, it's fine. I've been through worse. Whatever. I'll figure it out. That's what I say all the time. I'll figure it out. I don't know. I'm going to stress on it for a while, but I'll end up figuring it out. I always do. Anyway, thank you guys for being awesome, for reaching out, for praying, for just being there for us through all this, because it's been a rough month, and I just appreciate you guys so much. You've just been phenomenal, and we're good. Everybody's okay. Everybody's doing well. So I'll talk to you guys next time.